enjoys eating crumble cookies, coaching volleyball with the boys, and playing in the powder puff game. After graduation, Jillian plans to enlist in the Air National Guard and then pursue college to further her business degree, and she is riding a 1969 Chevy Corvette driven by Gary Ramsey. Jillian is being escorted tonight by Jack Stevens. Jack is the son of Brian and Michelle Stevens. Jack is a member of the varsity football team and wrestling team. He is also a part of the 4-H and has been a camp counselor and shows fair animals. Outside of school, Jack enjoys total hunting and eating. After graduation, Jack plans to become an electrician or a barber. Jillian Weaver and Jack Stevens. Please give a round of applause to the 2025 Homecoming Court. In front of you are some of the most deserving and respected students here at Crestview High School. These students voted on this court were voted there by their peers. And at this time, it is time for the big King and Queen reveal. So Homecoming Court, please turn and face the visitor stands. Each Homecoming Court pair will receive a bouquet of flowers. One bouquet is white roses. The pair that receives the white roses are this year's Homecoming King and Queen. So Homecoming Court, you may turn around in 3, 2, 1, go. Congratulations, Homecoming Queen, Tori Kidney, and your Homecoming King, Carter Goon. And congratulations to our entire Homecoming Court. And again, one big giant round of applause for Terry Baca and that famous red Corvette that traveled around Scott Bailey Memorial Field. Thank you, Fred.
great day to be a Crestview Cougar here at Scott Bailey Memorial Field. It's homecoming night, and the Cougars are on a 3-game winning streak, set to make it 4, potentially, if they can get the win here tonight at home with a big crowd on hand against the Plymouth Big Red. Firelands Conference action coming your way next, live and free on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Community. Whether it's supporting our local teams or cheering you on in life, we're here for you in every victory, big or small. Mechanics Bank! That's better.
Since 1974, Simonson has helped their clients stay on target to meet the goals and deadlines for their projects. From concept to completion, Simonson can design a plan and build a path for success. Let Simonson Construction turn that vision into a reality.
This is Jonathan Langdon. Catch me right here every Thursday for the Block Party presented by Bob and Bob Door Company, your place for volleyball highlights on the OH Report.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
It is time now for your pregame show presented by Schmidt Security Pro. My name is Jonathan Langdon. Joined alongside me yet again is Peyton Colopy. We are ready to break things down between the Crestview Cougars and the Plymouth Big Red. We have our first, I believe both of us, this is our first Firelands Conference game.
Yeah, I've never actually been up this way to Crestview. Never seen one of their games. I've always heard a lot about their program. Always heard a lot of good things, but just never made my way up here.
And now it's pretty much the opposite for me because I have been here for pretty much every other sport but football, and I finally complete the Infinity Gauntlet for the Crestview High School campus as I get to see them take on Plymouth here today. Let's talk about those opponents. Big Red come in, definite underdogs tonight, 0-5, 0-2 in the league thus far. I think an interesting stat is that they've yet to score on the road this year. They've put up 52 points at home, but nothing going here on the road.
Yeah, that it's definitely not something you want to see coming into Week 6, especially in a place like Crestview. With this being their homecoming game, they're gonna try to use the extra crowd, the extra momentum from the alumni coming back to watch them, to propel them to victory. And Plymouth's really gotta get on the board quick, and they gotta get on the board often.
Yeah, 54th meeting all time between these two schools. They know each other quite well. However, Crestview has had their share of wins. They've won 40 in this matchup so far in the all-time series. Player spotlight for the Big Red, however, someone that had a big game last week, Isaiah Miller. We were talking before the game that Crestview needs to get their run game going. That's pretty much all that Plymouth does. So a guy like Miller, you really need to see him explode for 200-plus yards like he did last week.
Yeah, with 52 carries, 285 yards, and 3 touchdowns last year for Isaiah. He's definitely a big part of their offense. Coaches there at Plymouth definitely utilize his skills a lot, and Crestview's going to have to figure out a way to contain him, allow to get extra hats on the ball to try to hold him to as few yards as possible tonight.
Yeah, well, Coach John Gillum in his third season has definitely talked at length about getting their skill players in a better position to succeed. We'll see if they can do that here today. Let's talk about the home Crestview Cougars, headed up by Steve Haverdill. 3-2 on the season. They played some really quality opponents. They lost to Seneca East in a wacky score 2-0 in week 1. Then they took on the top dogs in Kirtland in week 2. They had them at this place last year. Wasn't so pretty. Well, going over to Kirtland, it wasn't too pretty either, but no shame in that fantastic team over that the Hornets have. But looking at that last 3 games, a lot of W's for this team.
Yeah, they definitely got it figured out after the Kirtland loss. Like you said, Kirtland's just a tough team every single year. So Crestview definitely had their hands full that night. But they got something figured out against South Central, playing New London and Keystone, all getting big wins over all 3 of those schools. They're hoping to keep that momentum going, hoping to keep their season alive tonight with another big win against Plymouth.
Let's take a look at our player spotlight now for this one as Liam Kuhn, quarterback for this team. Quarterback for this team for Liam Kuhn. One of many great quarterbacks in the Ashland area. He had a great game last week with 281 yards. That is a career high for him with 3 touchdowns as well.
Yeah, as a 3-year starter, he's got a lot of experience for this offense. He's got a lot of knowledge with the offensive scheme that the coaching staff has put together here at Crestview. Very experienced. It's going to be hard for Plymouth to stop that kind of veteran leadership that Crestview has on their offensive side. Going to see a lot from Liam tonight, and Plymouth is just going to have to try to figure something out.
Yeah, absolutely. So Liam Kuhn, one of 3 quarterbacks that we're going to talk about later on in the broadcast in this Ashland area that have all been All-Ohioans at one point in their careers. Going to take a look at our keys to victory for both of these teams, starting with the Plymouth Big Red. I've said it a lot about a lot of teams, but I think Plymouth truly needs to run the ball well to get this done today. That's key number 2. Key number 1 is to stay on top, but that's an acronym because that's time of possession.
Yeah, as long as they're able to keep the ball in their offense's hands. Crestview, especially the first 2 weeks, seemed to have little issues with defense. They started to kind of get things figured out. But Plymouth, another strong team, as long as they can keep the ball in their hands, able to get drives going, sustain drives, and finish them, this should be a very interesting game tonight.
And you and I have different approaches on what Crestview needs to do today. I think they need to air it out. You think they need to establish the run game. They've got a really good quarterback coming off a great week. Why not try to build off of that? What's your case for the run game?
Yeah, again, Liam, such a strong leader on this offensive squad here for Crestview. He's well established in the pass game. Plymouth is going to be keying in on him passing the ball a lot, and I know they watched that on film a lot this week during practice. Crestview's got to be able to establish the run early, kind of throw Plymouth off to get those deep passes downfield opened up.
And we're pretty much set to start right on time here tonight from the Cougars Den. Thank you so much for joining us live and free on the OH Report. My name is Jonathan Langdon. Peyton Colopy alongside me. Your camera operator today is Brandon Powell. Bracing the bleachers for this contest. A lot of great Crestview faithful surrounding him who are probably going to be excited for this one. You may hear their noises through the camera mic throughout this game as well. Sun's starting to set here at Crestview. That means football is about to begin. 12 minutes on the clock. Cougars unbeaten at home this year in 2 attempts. They were on the road last week against South Central, where they won convincingly to spoil South Central's homecoming 44-7. And on their special homecoming night, they're not looking for any spoilers from Plymouth as they kick it off to them to start today's contest. Return from Dylan Schunatz as he takes it to the outside and gets past a bunch of Crestview defenders and puts his Plymouth Big Red in solid field position to start this game.
Dylan, you saw there right about the 35-yard line, kind of started tiptoeing up the sidelines here. Crestview kind of pushing him outside or out of bounds. Plymouth got some good field position to start this game. As long as they're able to get this, like we said, run established quickly and sustain these drives, we'll be looking to probably put some points on the board here early for Plymouth.
So first down and 10 as we have the first drive of the game from the Big Red on the road. I want to apologize in advance. Things happened, ended up getting here late, was not able to talk to any coaches about pronunciations. We will do our best for the Plymouth Big Red. As Carter Goon, newly crowned homecoming king, makes the TFL to start things.
Yeah, Lincoln Distal there trying to just keep the ball right up the middle. Swallowed up immediately. Really nowhere for him to go. Play was blown up from the get-go. And the result is looks like a 1-yard loss for Plymouth.
So after that tackle, we see second down and 11. PA announcer just noted the homecoming king, Carter Goon, making the first tackle of the game tonight. Here's a run to Miller, who we talked about having a big game last week against Mapleton in a tough loss. He almost gets the first down right there.
That right there, Miller's just a simple run right up the middle, following his blockers, following his big guys up front, able to get a big gain. Got 10 yards and now looking at 3rd and 1 for Plymouth. I'm going to look for them probably to go back to Miller to get this first down here and hopefully some more yards.
And you brought it up in the pregame show, 285 yards last year. He already almost equaled that just in last week alone. Another shotgun look here for Plymouth in an interesting formation that we'll talk about momentarily, but this play is eaten up quickly. Nice tackle by number 55, Jack Stevens, the all Firelands second-teamer.
Yeah, he just followed the line of scrimmage, followed him right down flat against the line, able to make the play in the backfield for a looks like a 2-yard loss, bring up 4th and 3 for Plymouth.
And the punt team will come out for Plymouth. Cougars will have, it looks like, Dylan Burge back to return. So Burge, one of the great seniors for this squad, will take the football, miss the first defender. Solid return out to the 30, jukes out one, tries to shift to the outside, shoves another down, and he's past the 40 just like Plymouth did on their kickoff.
solid return there by Burge. He was he kind of had a Plymouth player right in his face as soon as he caught the ball, able to make him miss. Made a couple other Plymouth punt teamers, made them miss. Able to get a stiff arm there at the end, and pretty decent field position for Crestview to start off.
So it's our chance to see Liam Coon lead this offense for the first time tonight. Last week, 11 of 16, 281 yards. That's a career high for him with 3 touchdowns. He did throw a late pick in that game as well. All-Ohioan as a sophomore, looking to get back to form in his senior season. He'll go to the ground game first. Aiden Raymer, near side, just now gets touched, and he's shoved out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, Crestview, first play of the game for them on offense, coming out immediately, going to the run. Just an easy counter play out to the right, or to the left, to Raymer. Able to get some big yards, get into Plymouth territory, down at the 34-yard line to start this new set of downs.
And after a play like that, it feels like Plymouth is going to want to keep things inside the hashes as much as they can, but if it does break to that outside, watch out. These Cougars have some great backs that can make a lot of yards. They'll go to another one right here who goes right back to the far side, and he's taken down just shy of the first down marker as Branson Hyder, the senior, gets a few yards.
Again, not very complicated plays here tonight from either team. 2 very simple runs there by Crestview back to back. This one going right up the middle to Branson Hyder, able to bounce it outside, get some nice yardage, get an 8-yard gain.
So the Cougars had 6 different players find the end zone last week. They've got a ton of ball carriers, a ton of receivers as well. Kuhn's going to tuck it and run. He's got the first down. He's hit hard just shy of the 20.
Yeah, he hit somebody in his face almost as soon as he dropped back, able to get out to the left side there. Kind of a slow run there for him. I thought maybe he was going to try to bounce it outside a little further, kind of come more towards the sidelines to get some extra yards. It decided to lower his shoulder, try to get a couple extra hard yards there, and ended up getting the first down.
On 6'5", 185, he's got a lot to move. He's more of a short yardage quarterback. However, he does have 3 rushing touchdowns this year as he plows through a couple defenders inside the 10 and will be pushed forward to the 6.
A hard run there for Kuhn, going right up the middle. Looks like the ball came out a couple of times, but he was able to reel it back in immediately. Able to get the ball down inside the 10, looking at the 6-yard line for first and goal. Crestview's knocking on the door for the first quarters of the game tonight.
So there's your Mechanics Bank first down. This ball sits on the 6, 8.5 minutes to go and counting. Both teams have had a drive thus far. Crestview's in the middle of their first. 2 backs in the shotgun along with Kuhn. He'll hand it off to Rammer, who puts his shoulder down, and it looks like he's got himself to the 2.
Yeah, it looked like he had Isaiah Miller right in his face as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage. Able to lower his shoulder, get a couple of yards, get it down to the 3. Able to keep this drive alive.
So second down and goal. We'll see where the Cougars decide to go with this next play. They had 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns last week. A very balanced attack, so they can go either way here. 2 in the backfield. They'll give it off to one of the seniors, and in for the touchdown, Branson Hyder.
Again, just like I said earlier in this drive, very simple offensive scheme so far for Crestview and for Plymouth as well. Again, just another simple dive right up the middle, able to push the ball across the goal line for the first quarter tonight. I can see Crestview doing a lot more of that this first half to try to establish the pass a little later in this game.
And here goes the interesting formation. They do kick extra points here at Crestview. Keith Abshire, last week against South Central, went 5 for 6 on extra points. He also had a 41-yarder in that game last week. Snap, hold, both good. Kick as well. Makes it 7-0. Cougars lead here from Olivesburg, Ohio. And welcome back to Scott Bailey Memorial Field. We're on the call here from Mike Baker Press Box. My name is Jonathan Langdon. Peyton Colby to my right as Keith Abshire just made an extra point. He'll boot this away, and the ball lands at about the 10. Return from Plymouth. We'll get past the 25, not much further, as taken down is Keegan Beverly. Mechanics Bank first down on the way. Second drive of the game for the Big Red.
Yeah, that was just good kickoff coverage there by Crestview. Wasn't really anywhere for Beverly to go on that. Kind of try to take it up the middle, try to get something out of it. It would have bring it out to the, looks like their 28-yard line to start this drive.
So Plymouth will come out for first down and 10. Peyton, talk to me quickly about this formation we're seeing out of the Big Red.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost like a tight wing tee. It's not something you see super often. It looks like they had an extra big guy in the back as an extra blocker out there.
But I'm not used to seeing that come out of the shotgun.
And like I said, it's definitely something that's different. It's not seen very often. Lucas kind of runs something similar to that when they go in the shotgun. They do still have their running back by the quarterback. So having their extra running back up front, right behind the line as an extra blocker, it's definitely something new.
But I think the methodology behind it is that you kind of get your running back a little bit of momentum before he really meets that defensive line. However, here it doesn't work too well. They got a yard out of first down, but they lose 2 on the next one.
Yeah, again, this defensive line for Crestview is just really well disciplined, well trained by the coaching staff. They sniff out the play, the blocking scheme almost immediately, able to go flat down the line, chase down the running back. Looked like a 3-yard loss for Plymouth.
So Ben Trimmer loses 2. Third down and long yet again for the Plymouth Big Red. 0-5 on the year. They've run into some solid opponents. We'll see a different look here from Plymouth as Miller tries to make up some ground, but 2 Cougars hit him backwards. Good job by the linebacker duo of Max Durbin. And it looks like Hyder was also there.
Again, the offensive line seemed to have some type of a push there, kind of open it up a little bit. But this Crestview defense, so well disciplined, so well trained, the linebackers were able to step up fast and fill that hole, and there wasn't anywhere for Miller to go.
This punt won't go as far as the last. It'll stop at the 39. Picked up by Plymouth. That's where Crestview will start their next drive. Liam Kuhn back out to the field. Did not pass it once, as it seems like Peyton is correct when it comes to how they start out this game. I thought they were going to pass, try to test the secondary, but the run game's working. Why go anywhere else?
Yeah, like I said, Plymouth almost definitely watched a lot of film from last week's game, saw how dangerous Crestview can be with the passing game. So I'm not surprised that they're trying to cover that hard and force them to run. But obviously it's not working too well in Plymouth's favor.
Pass completed out to the far side. Carson Keener is tackled at about a 5-yard gain.
Looks like it was Ben Trimmer able to get his hands on him, able to started to slip away there for a second, but pulled him back in, bring him down out of bounds for just a 5-yard gain, bring it up second down.
So the Cougars held to their shortest gain of the night thus far. 2 in the shotgun along with Kuhn. Will drop back to pass. Has a first down marker with Carter Goon and a couple more. Looks like a gain of 9.
Yeah, there's this passing offense that you talked about at the beginning of the game. That can be so dangerous for Crestview. Just a couple quick passes there started off. They're going to be looking to try to draw Plymouth in 2, 3, 4 plays in a row and then drop one deep over their heads.
Already over halfway done with this first quarter. 2 running teams making this clock move. We'll see another handoff. Aiden Raymer Splits the seam, goes up the middle, spins past one tackler. He's out past the 30 to the 29.
Yeah, Plymouth had 3 or 4 defenders there on him, able to make the tackle, but it just seemed like nobody was able to bring him down. He's able to keep his legs going, keep him driving, and get what looked like 5 or 6 yards after in the initial contact.
Yeah, Dylan Schnatz looked like he nearly had him on the ground, but that's who Raymer was able to spin away from on that play. First down and 10, ball on the 30. New ball carrier in the backfield. This is the sophomore Wyatt Barber. Play action play. They'll go to the other back as the senior has another first down. Branson Hyder.
Yeah, just simple play action pass there. Able to find Hyder there right at the sticks. Just a little out route from the backfield. Again, simple play calling from Crestview, but Plymouth has yet to give an answer to what Crestview's given them.
Under center now goes Kuhn. He'll give it off to his back. Yet again, it's the sophomore in the backfield. Barber looking for the end zone. He has it. Touchdown, Cougars. It's a 20-yard scamper.
Just a little sweep out to the left. Nothing, again, too complicated. Sophomore able to run it all the way in. Nobody even touched him until right at the goal line. Kind of showing off his speed there a little bit, able to get around the outside edge. Kind of showing this Crestview coaching staff, hey, I'm here to ball too.
And you can tell why he leads the Cougars with 7.5 yards per carry. Well, that's going to go up yet again. That's his 3rd touchdown of the year. Abshire back out for another extra point. And he knocks that through. Early in this game, it's already 14-zip in favor of the Crestview Cougars here on the OH Report. Great start if you're a Crestview Cougar fan at home as Crestview leads 14-0 over Plymouth. First 2 drives, first 2 touchdowns of the game for the home squad on homecoming. Line drive, squib kick, takes a bounce. It'll be scooped up by Dylan Schunatz. His 2nd return of the game isn't as pretty as the first one. He gets to the 27. So Mechanics Bank first down.
Kind of looked like he was trying to do a little bit of the same as his first return right at the start of the game, trying to bounce it out to the outside, get over to his own sidelines there to kind of tiptoe up, get a couple extra yards, but immediately chased down there.
3:44 to go as that's where the clock will start on this drive for the Big Red. A couple 3rd and longs have kind of stalled them here to start this game.
Yeah, they got to be able to get something figured out on offense. They got to get some yards going here, get some points on the board to keep this game tight with Crestview.
Nice cut there from the back for Plymouth. Solid gain from Ben Trimmer.
Yeah, that right there is the type of yardage you want to see Plymouth get every single play. If they're able to keep those types of plays going here, it'll end up being an interesting game here tonight.
So that make it 2nd down and 4, ball in the 32. Just look at all of the bodies bunched up in the box for the Crestview defense. They know what's coming, a run up the middle. However, they will not stop Plymouth from getting a first down with Trimmer.
It looked almost like back-to-back plays. Just a simple handoff there to Trimmer right up the middle, trying to follow his big guys up front. Almost looked like the exact same play. I mean, if it worked the last play, why not work this one?
That's one of the beautiful things about football, because you can run the football, but you can run the football. You talk about schools in this area. Lucas was synonymous for that for a long time. I think they still are. They still run it with some force, as they did against Plymouth in week 1 in a convincing 51-0 win. As this time it's eaten up. Miller gets about 1.5. But what do you think the difference is between a good running team and a great running team?
It's almost always gets broken down into discipline. How well is your offensive line disciplined? How strong are your running backs running the ball? Are they keeping their legs driving, getting the high knees going? Again, with the offensive line, they have to be disciplined. They have to run the correct blocking scheme every single play perfectly every single time. If they have that disciplined offensive line, running game is typically strong.
Big hit right at the line of scrimmage. Or I guess the original line of scrimmage. It's now 3rd down as they lost 2 on 1st down. And
yeah, they went back to that same play that they ran on their first 2 plays of this drive. And Carter Goon able to sniff it out immediately, almost like he was in Plymouth's huddle there and knew what the play call was.
So everybody, I guess not everybody, but some schools will kind of look at Lucas in 2019 and they say, hey, they could run the football. Why can't we? But then you start to see the significant differences that come between. Looks like, Crestview almost jumped across the line. Official with the baseball safe signal. He's good to go.
Well, you bring up Lucas there. Plymouth kind of doing a little bit of what Lucas is known for, that kind of fake motion. You saw Miller start to go in motion, go back and get set again, which almost always works getting somebody to jump off. Crestview able to keep their heads, stay off of the line of scrimmage just enough to avoid the flag. Able to stay disciplined there and bring up this 4th and 5, it looks like.
This time it'll be Max Durbin back to return for Crestview's punt team. It is 4th down and 4. So we'll see what Plymouth decides to do. Nobody back to punt quite yet, and we will see a timeout from Plymouth. They were running out of time on that play clock.
Yeah, it looked like there was almost some confusion between the offensive team out there and the sidelines with the coaching staff, trying to figure out what kind of play call they were going to run on this 4th and 5. And that might have been what drew the timeout, to try to get things figured out if they're going to punt again, if they're still going to try to go for it. We'll see what they decide here.
So Coach Gillum, John Gillum, will talk to his team. He's 4-16 as a coach entering this season. Of course, the 0-5 start definitely does not help that record, but they've definitely have opportunities to win down the line. Want to try to correct things here, but I would say next week a very winnable game against New London. And then they've also got the final game of the season against South Central, a team that is on that 0-5 slide right along with them. And after that blunder with the play call, looks like the punt team now will come out. And Plymouth wastes a timeout, unfortunately. And Durbin will now go back to return. So the quarterback, Lincoln Distel, sends us back all the way to the 15. Durbin makes a nice catch, gets past the first defender. The ball spanks out of bounds, fortunately for Crestview. On a nice hit out of Plymouth. We'll see this again on the replay, brought to you by, unfortunately, the Crestview Athletic Boosters, who probably won't want to see this replay.
Yeah, that was just a good, solid hit from Lincoln Distel. Got the helmet right on the football, able to pop it out. Unfortunately for Plymouth, ball immediately went out of bounds, stays in Crestview's possession. But, again, a solid hit out of the quarterback.
Yeah, how about your punter making a nice play like that? I know there's a difference from college punters and high school punters, because a lot of these kids are not really trying to hold back and stay safe, not necessarily as much as punters would.
Well, in high school, especially these small schools, the punters, that's their secondary position. You almost never see a primary punter on these small school teams, because of the total numbers on the team, they have to be able to play something else. So punting, kicking, holding for extra points, those become their secondary positions.
First tackle for loss on the game as number 88. Yeah, Carson Flickinger with the tackle for loss. That takes us to the end of the quarter. We'll take a break, come back. Crestview leads 14-0. They'll start their third drive when we come back.
Community. Whether it's supporting our local teams or cheering you on in life, we're here for you in every victory, big or small. Mechanics Bank! That's better.
Since 1974, Simonson has helped their clients stay on target to meet the goals and deadlines for their projects. From concept to completion, Simonson can design a plan and build a path for success. Let Simonson Construction turn that vision into a reality.
And welcome back out for the second quarter, live and free on the OH Report. Liam Kuhn looking to pass, evades a couple rushers. I thought was just about to throw it away, and it looks like it's going to be a nice catch instead. Nicely done. Drew Spoor kept his feet in bounds.
That right there, it looked like he had the junior number 99, Kanan Kilgore, in his face immediately. Easily could have had a sack right there. Was able to get his hand on his shoulder, but the issue was he jumped to try to block the pass, got his feet off the ground. Liam Kuhn noticed that, able to step away, and able to get at least back to the line of scrimmage.
Trips far side. Kuhn rolls that way, looking down the field past the first down marker. The throw's a little bit too high, intended for Carson Keener. So this will be a 3-and-out by the Plymouth defense.
And that right there, it looked like he made a good decision throwing to who he was throwing to. It looked like, you said, number 5, Carson Keener. But again, it was just too high, out of reach. Wasn't really any way for him to jump up and grab that.
So back to return for Plymouth is Keegan Beverly, the junior. One of the outside linebackers for this Plymouth defense that just forced the 3-and-out as Plymouth nearly blocks that punt on a high snap to Abshire. But a good recovery by Keith, gets that to bounce around the 30.
Yeah, you don't like seeing those high snaps from a coach's standpoint, especially this far back in your own field position. That gives a lot of momentum to the other team if they're able to get that blocked and recovered.
Don't get to show too many punt replays, but there's one for you. Good job by Keith. It's an even more generous spot than I thought they were going to give Keith Abshire. It's to the 27. I was thinking more like the 29 or the 30. So Plymouth will start their drive a little bit further back than we expected. What do you want to see out of this drive here, Peyton, if you're a Plymouth fan?
Well, you get those two nice runs on to start the last drive. If you're able to get those two types of runs again, able to kind of stack some more on top of those. Looks like we got Isaiah Miller on another one of those nice runs, just a simple toss out to the right, able to cut it up inside a little bit. Good 5, looks like 6-yard gain. As long as you're able to continue with those decent runs, you don't need a lot. 3 yards in a cloud of dust is the old adage.
You got 5 right there.
As long as you're able to string those together, you got yourself a drive. You're going to be able to put some points on the board.
And I'll tell you what, for a second I thought that quarterback Lincoln Distel was going to hold on to that football and fake the toss. It's a good thing he didn't, because he was going to get clocked if he had that football. 2nd down and 5, another man in motion, another toss. Trying to shift back inside the hashes. That does not work. It'll be no gain.
Yeah, it looked like it was just the same play going the opposite direction. Crestview able to sniff it out. They're able to kind of make him cut back inside a little quicker than I'm sure he wanted to. Kind of drew him back into those black jerseys, which is never fun to see as a running back.
So that'll make it 3rd down and 4. 3 yards in cloud of dust. That mantra will not get the job done here. You got to find something. Get another gain like you had on 1st down. Distal a couple of fake snap calls. He'll now give it off. And yet again, that defensive line for Crestview holding out strong. Nice tackle combination from Bronson Rose and Carter Goon.
Yeah, Carter Goon snuffed that out immediately. As soon as he saw the handoff going right up the middle, able to get back down, flat down the line, and swallow up Miller there for no gain. Again for Plymouth, forcing them to punt.
So Carter Goon, to start this game, got his 10th tackle for loss. Got a whistle here and a flag. Void that punt. Looks like a false start on the kicking team. So just Carter Goon, he's having a great day. Win homecoming king. Put a pretty solid performance together defensively. Get a catch on the offensive side of things, and your team is up 14-0.
Yeah, he's definitely kind of walking tall. We all know as football players, homecoming's kind of more for the cheerleaders there at school. It's kind of more for the girls at school. But getting that homecoming king crown kind of makes your chest puff out a little bit. Kind of gives you a little more pride in yourself, makes you walk a little taller, and it's definitely showing here with Goon.
High snap. Distal just able to get it off. Distal, pardon me. And this ball taken in by Durbin at the 40. He's already at the 50. Jukes past 3 defenders, and he's into Plymouth territory and well into it at that. Looks like the 37 is where this drive will start. Solid field position for the Cougars.
Looked like he kind of ran into his own player there, kind of forced him into the tackle. If he hadn't done that, probably another 5 or 6 yards out of that return. But things like that just happen. They're almost unavoidable at times, and that's definitely the case there. Wasn't really any place for him to go. Things just got kind of bunched up, and he got swallowed into it.
We're on the topic of homecoming. Did your school have rules with how many football players could be nominated as a homecoming for homecoming? Because my school, only one football player was allowed to be nominated. I saw here at Crestview 4 of their players were finalists.
So when I was in school at Danville, football players would escort the homecoming queen nominees, but we did not actually have a homecoming king.
Really?
That was not a thing. Coach Honeberger did not like it when he was there at Danville for us. Wanted to keep our minds on the game instead of getting distracted by the outside festivities that are going on with homecoming every year.
I'm surprised that is a coach decision. We see a 1 yard gain here for Crestview. Or pardon me, from Plymouth as they take over on a flag on that last play. And it looks like they'll gain 2, so 2nd down and the scoreboard right now says 2nd down and 51. I know that's not right. So how about a flag from Crestview, giving Plymouth some life here. Eight and a half to go. Distal moves Miller into motion. He'll give it right to him. And Miller pushes forward for another gain, this time of 3.
You can tell that this Crestview defense really honed in on Miller this week during practice. I can almost guarantee one of their scout team players was the designated Isaiah Miller all week because of how dangerous he is. Because they're running the same plays Plymouth is that they're running with Trimmer as they are with Miller, but they're not able to get near the same result because of how well they're attacking Miller. As soon as he gets the ball, it's like they got a one-man spy on him every single play.
3rd down and 5. Fake to Miller this time. Their first throw of the night is broken up as Dylan Schunatz was the intended target.
Looks like that could have been enough for a 1st down. Looks like that was Cole Hughes able to get in there and break it up. Just a good defense there by Crestview.
So they get the job done there. Crestview defensively. Now we'll see if a flag comes up on this next return. So the punt team comes out again. Secondary for Crestview last game against South Central had a well-rounded effort. They had 6 different players register a pass deflection. As this punt bounces out of bounds, no flags on the field this time, so the Cougars will take over with their offense.
That was a good, solid punt there by Plymouth, able to bury Crestview a little deep back in their own field position. Looks like they're going to bring the ball out at maybe the 23-yard line. This looks like what the sticks are showing me. A lot better punt result than the last couple for sure.
Yeah, the one that would have had Crestview start in Plymouth's 37-yard line. This drive, however, starts on Crestview's own 23. First give is to the sophomore yet again, who shakes past 2 and gets the first down by about a half yard. So he already had a 20-yard touchdown rush. That's now 11 yards, so 2 carries, 31 yards, 15.5 yards per carry. Not too shabby.
That's just efficiency. That's all that is. That's just efficiency. You get somebody that runs like that, doesn't really carry the ball a whole lot, but he's getting big yardage every single time he touches the ball.
He'll stay in the backfield as well.
Maybe a little bit of confusion there by the running backs, but they got it sorted out, running right up the middle. And another flag on the play. Let's see what the refs say here.
Actually didn't give the first down. It's 2nd down and 1 on that play, and the flag may move them back even more.
Looks like a hold.
Yep, and that's what it is from the head official wearing the white cap. So that'll move them back to 2nd down and 11.
And not sure who that penalty was called on. I didn't see the hold. But with how tight Crestview and Plymouth both run their offenses, how bunched up they are in the middle, it's hard to see anything, especially with Crestview having the black jerseys. It's hard to tell who's who up here in the box sometimes.
So the hold makes it 2nd and 11. Kuhn with one in the sidecar who will act as a blocker. Quick flag route is caught at the 30. Good play by Carson Keener. So the comeback route gets him to the 30.
Going to bring up 3rd and 4 here. Not really something Crestview typically likes. Not really any offense likes seeing is a 3rd and medium in their own territory. Crestview tonight so far has been able to make these types of situations work for them.
And yet again, I noticed that Barber not exactly in tune with the play, but once he is in tune, good things happen. And the main official gets into in the crowd of things. But a first down for the Cougars.
Again, it looks like he was just a little slow to get the correct play call there. But like you said, once he got the ball, he was able to find a hole up the middle. You see the ref kind of get caught up in the action there a little bit.
No flags on that, though. It's fair game.
Looks like we're going to take an official's timeout to check on the referee.
So an injury timeout out on the field. We'll take one as well. 14-0 in favor of Crestview. No scores as of late. First 2 touchdowns from Crestview came in the first quarter. We'll take a break halfway through the second. And we're back here from Crestview High School. The official was shaken up a bit in the middle of the field. They have moved him off for the time being, so one short on the officiating crew as the first down run gets about 3. We sit at second down now as Plymouth Big Red got a little bit of a breather there defensively, but they've been worn down by some of these Crestview drives.
Yeah, that injury timeout definitely helped them catch their breath just a little bit, get a little water in their bodies, but Crestview it's just such a hard offense to keep up with.
Give to Raymer, gets a nice block on the outside. That'll help him get a first down and then some, just getting close to the 40.
Big block there by number 52 Montgomery Klein, the junior. 6 foot, 235 pound junior, I'm sorry. Huge trap block there to open up the hole. Those are the type of blocks offensive linemen dream of. Get them super excited.
So first down now. Talked about the fatigue that Plymouth's defense may be going through right now as they've been on the field quite a bit today. Kuhn takes the snap here. Play action, screen play, pass is high. He was looking for Carter Goon. That would have been his second catch of the day. But talking about just the fatigue, it's honestly a warmer one than most expected tonight. I don't know if it's just us in the press box here, but out there it's 69 degrees. I checked the weather app, but we were expecting rain for this Friday night. It cleared up beautifully. Maybe we're starting to see the feel of that on the field as these two teams go at it in week 5 or week 6.
And it doesn't help. You mentioned the fatigue. Plymouth, a small team, don't really have a lot of guys on the sidelines to trade in and out. Crestview not a big school, but they get a lot more players that they can utilize, and that shows here on this big run to the outside.
Aiden Raymer taken out just shy of the 25.
Yeah, again, Crestview able to move these guys in and out almost at will. Plymouth, they're kind of stuck with a set 11, 12, 13 guys just because they don't have the numbers that Crestview does, and it definitely wears teams down a lot faster than a lot of people think.
And that is something that crafts deep playoff runs is running back depth. They've got 3 that they go between. You've seen Raymer with a couple runs, Branson Hyder, those are both seniors. Wyatt Barber has a touchdown in this game, and he sits in the backfield right now. He is a sophomore. Quick snap, Kuhn, quick throw as well. It's complete near side to Max Durbin, who is thrown down at the 17.
Yeah, having those extra numbers, especially in the backfield. Like you mentioned, Crestview having 3 running backs that they kind of rotate between. You almost always have a fresh running back, fresh set of legs in the backfield. And I think it's why they're able to stay so successful with the running game, even with as strong a passer that Liam Kuhn is. They're going to be relying a lot on this run game.
We've seen 2 rushing touchdowns so far. Barber doesn't get as much as he has typically gotten here in this game. He's down at the 13, but that does move the chains. So the Cougars continuing to roll. They had a 3-and-out their last drive. They were about to start another drive after that, and then a flag gave the ball right back to Plymouth after a punt. And we're seeing now another timeout called. So another chance to rest up as just entering the red zone or getting deeper into the red zone is Crestview.
Yeah, right here is the type of situation that Plymouth has to take advantage of, get a lot of water into their boys, try to rest them up as much as they can, just to simply keep up with Crestview because of their numbers that they have. Plymouth's definitely got to try to elongate these timeouts as much as they possibly can, kind of procrastinate a little bit, getting the boys out on the field just to get them that extra breath before they get back out there.
Looks like Plymouth was a man shy, so they rush on another player out to the field. That's the freshman Jax Tackett, who will join the defensive line. A lot of players in the box for Plymouth. Kuhn in the shotgun. Fake give to Raymer, and Kuhn's taken down at the legs.
Swallowed up there by Miller. Good defensive discipline, going flat down the line there, able to hold him just to, looks like they gave him 4 yards on that run. I thought they had him down at 3, but referee's giving him just a little grace here tonight.
3.5 to go and counting. Cougars scored all 14 of their points in the first quarter. It's been easy going the last 12 minutes. Another give this time to Raymer. Shifts down the middle, won't get to the end zone. And they'll get to about the range where they scored their first touchdown. They're down at the 3. First down, however, for the Cougars, so take the chains away.
First and goal here for Crestview with just under 3 minutes left. Plymouth's got to try to get a stop here, try to get some momentum built so they can get their offense moving and hopefully keep some of that going into the halftime break.
And a give to Raymer. It's another touchdown for the Cougars. The run game continues to plow through these Big Red defenders. It's now 20-zip.
It's definitely not something that Plymouth wanted with such little time left in this first half for Crestview to kind of keep the momentum in their favor. But this Plymouth team fighting hard so far tonight.
Another extra point lineup here for Keith Abshire. Another senior on this group. Piles another one through. Let's take a look at all 3 of those touchdowns from Crestview so far in this game. Here's the first one. And I'll tell you what, all 3 running backs have scored touchdowns in this one. Hyder had the first. You saw it right there very early in this contest. And then we see the sophomore get involved into things. Wyatt Barber with a 20-yard rush as he does what they've been doing best on this play, getting to the outsides and just outrunning Plymouth simply in this game. And then the most recent touchdown that you just saw, Aiden Raymer scores his 5th touchdown of the season. That's a team high.
Yeah, just a couple of inside runs there, good hard runs there by the 2 seniors, and then you saw that the run there by the sophomore, able to bounce it out, get his own score of the night for, you said 20 yards. Again, just a simple play calling for Crestview, able to not really have to open up the playbook a whole lot so far tonight.
Another send away from Abshire's a line drive. This one let go by Trimmer. And another return. Miller shoves away a tackle, able to spin out of it. And he pushes forward past the 30. Mechanics Bank first down as Plymouth takes over again. 2.5 minutes for them to try to build something here.
Yeah, they got to try to get something figured out. Running game, it's kind of worked intermittently here for them. They got a couple of nice runs going right up the middle there with Trimmer. Again, this defense really honing in on Miller. We'll see if Plymouth tries to maybe establish a little bit of a passing game. We've only seen really 1 pass out of them. It was unsuccessful. Good coverage there by the Crestview defense. But Plymouth's got to try to figure something out to get at least something on the board before going into half.
Again, something big to emphasize is the fact that Plymouth has not scored a touchdown on the road this season. And we're going to see a timeout out of Plymouth as they were running out of daylight on the play clock. Second timeout out of the Big Red. Crestview still has all 3 of theirs.
And again, Plymouth, they got to try to get something figured out here. Don't want to go into halftime break with 0 on the scoreboard. It's always hard to kind of get your boys excited coming out of halftime when they know that there's really nothing to show for, so far, their effort tonight. They just haven't been able to get anything working. Maybe try to get a couple quick short passes started. Maybe try to open something up a little deeper downfield.
Make sure to stay tuned. We'll have your halftime show with both bands performing here tonight. First for Plymouth and then also for Crestview. I can hear both of them warming up as we get ready to start play here yet again. So Plymouth, another drive, another attempt to try and put some points on the board. Lincoln Distal in the shotgun as he's been all night. This will be a wide toss to Trimmer. And Trimmer's taken up for it looks like a yard. Clock will continue to roll now under 2.5 minutes.
Looked like he had a little bit of daylight there just for a second, but Wyatt Barber able to stick his hat in there, stick his nose there on the ball, and make a really good form tackle, able to keep his legs driving and almost kind of stop Trimmer in his tracks. He didn't really go anywhere after getting hit.
Big Red now face second down and 9 on the 33. Miller the motion man this time. It'll be a fake to him. Distal moves forward himself, and he's got probably one of their best gains of the day. That's a gain of 10 for a first down. That's something they haven't thrown into their offense is the quarterback keeper.
Yeah, it was just looked like they were running the exact same play again with Miller. Coach throwing and just a little bit of trickery, faking the handoff and running with Distal right up the middle. Looked like right where Miller was going to run. Able to pick up some decent yards because Crestview definitely kind of immediately went towards Miller there.
Nice tug at the shoulder pad of Plymouth there on that carry. Crestview tried to ply him down, but not until he gained 4.
Yeah, here they run the same play, actually give it to Miller this time, able to get a hold of his jersey and kind of hold on for dear life to keep him from getting too deep into the Crestview backfield. But again, a solid 4-yard gain. Plymouth starting to get a little bit of a drive here going at the end of the first half, just under a minute left.
Yeah, time's running down. Got to try to look down the field potentially. They do have a receiver out wide now. They have only thrown the ball once so far in this one. Distal will follow his lead blocker, Miller, for another first down. I thought it was a first down, but it was actually his lead blocker that went past the marker. Looks like this will be 3rd and short.
It looks like a 3rd and 1. Yeah, it looks like they're going to bring it out to the 47-yard line, 3rd and 1 for Plymouth. They got to try to get to the outside, get the ball out of bounds to stop the clock, give them a little more time.
Time's running out. I'll tell you what, 5 seconds to go. Plymouth only has 1 timeout. This will be the half. Distal drops back, deep ball down the sideline. This one will be caught, but out of bounds. Not going to be an interception. But just interesting time management there from Plymouth to end the half. As it now sits 21-0 as we head to the locker rooms. Coming up, your halftime band shows on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Community. Whether it's supporting our local teams or cheering you on in life, we're here for you in every victory, big or small. Mechanics Bank! That's better.
Since 1974, Simonson has helped their clients stay on target to meet the goals and deadlines for their projects. From concept to completion, Simonson can design a plan and build a path for success. Let Simonson Construction turn that vision into a reality.
From indie pop band Bastille. This tune was released as their fourth single in their studio album Bad Blood in 2013. It peaked at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming one of their most successful singles. Featuring a solo from senior Lexi Beverly and senior Riley Gowitzka. Here is Pompeii. band, the B-52s. The song was released in their 5th studio album, Cosmic Thing, and reached number 3 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, becoming one of their most iconic songs. Here is Love Shack. We would like to thank you for your attention tonight and would like to extend our thanks and appreciation to the continued support from our band boosters. Thank you and go Big Red! Cougar Pride kicks things off with a funky and unforgettable classic. Released in 1972, this song's driving groove, punchy horn lines, and Stevie's signature clarinet riff have made it one of the most instantly recognizable hits in music history. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to move with Superstition!
Simonson celebrates the joy of music itself. Released in 1976 as a tribute to jazz legend Duke Ellington, this upbeat anthem bursts with brass fanfares, vibrant rhythms, and pure happiness. Its soaring melodies and infectious beat capture everything that makes music worth celebrating and continues to be an anthem for musicians everywhere. Let's hear it for Sir Duke! Shout out to Jordan Kane, Emily Pond, Mirabelle Welch, and Alex Cutnick on their quartet solo. We close tonight's performance with a high-energy finale that brings Stevie's unmistakable style into the modern era. Featured in the hit film Sing and introduced to a new generation of fans in 2016, this lively collaboration radiates with positivity and fun. Give it up one more time for the marching Cougar Pride as they bring you Faith.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain train heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local trained comfort specialist.
Community. Whether it's supporting our local teams or cheering you on in life, we're here for you in every victory, big or small. Mechanics Bank! That's better.
Since 1974, Simonson has helped their clients stay on target to meet the goals and deadlines for their projects. From concept to completion, Simonson can design a plan and build a path for success. Let Simonson Construction turn that vision into a reality.
First half that was dominated by the Crestview run game.
Yeah, again, like I said at the beginning of the game, with Crestview being so dominant last week and in previous weeks with the passing game, I'm not surprised that they're going to the run game, kind of throw Plymouth off a little bit, because I know that they really honed in on their passing game, try to get their passing defense as patting down as possible. Crestview really coming out, kind of showing their muscle a little bit tonight, kind of saying, hey, we're not just a passing team here. You're going to have to respect us on the run game also.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at those Firelands Conference standings as they sit right now. Western Reserve having a really great start to the year. They sit in first all alone at 4-1, 2-0 in the league, and then Crestview, of course, also unbeaten. They're up there with Monroeville, who took down a solid St. Paul squad earlier in the season. Mapleton sits tied with St. Paul. Then you see Plymouth and South Central towards the bottom. So an interesting matchup next week. If Plymouth can't get the job done today, they've got a good chance to get back in the win column against New London next week.
Yeah, that'll be definitely something that they're going to look to take advantage of. New London, a little bit slow start to the season, just 2-3 right now. Still better off than Plymouth, sitting at 0-5. But Plymouth's going to look to kind of take advantage of the slow start that New London's had and kind of get themselves their first win of the season, kind of get some momentum, get a little excitement in the locker room there to hopefully carry throughout the rest of the season.
So Plymouth started with the football in the first half. To the second half we go, and Crestview will get a chance to pad their lead early in the quarter. Remember, a running clock begins at 30, so it'd take 2 scores from Crestview to get to that threshold tonight. They've been in running clock games a number of times so far this season, especially as of late. They beat South Central 44-7. They beat New London 42-0. And that's it in the running clock category. But those are the last 2 weeks. Our offense has been rolling. And so far the run game has thus far in this one. This ball taken at the 10 by the Cougars. A couple nice moves made by Branson Hyder, who brings up a Mechanics Bank first down as we see the first drive of the third quarter. Liam Kuhn making his way out to the field. Talked about him and the success that not only him but also other Ashland area quarterbacks have possessed in the last couple of years. You've got Liam Kuhn at Crestview here. Nathan Bernhardt over at Ashland is committed to Appalachian State. And then, of course, someone that OH.REPORT fans know very well, Cale Lewis as well over at Hillsdale, balling out in Division 7. First down and 10 as Kuhn starts the offense. He'll give it off to his back. Hasn't had to do too much passing the football because of the success that we've seen in the run game, and Hyder gains about 9. Or it looks like they're going to get him for 8.
Again, good solid run there by Hyder. He had a really good return there on the kickoff, receiving that right around his own 10, 15-yard line. Able to get a good 8 yards on that first run there, get them out to their own 40, and start this second half off strong for the Cougars.
Kuhn in the shotgun again, 2 receivers far side. 1 near your screen, and he'll go that way. Pets and catch.
And
Max Durbin headed to the end zone untouched. Touchdown Crestview.
There's that strong passing game that you talked about in the pregame. Liam Kuhn finding Durbin just wide open on the right side. Able to reel in the reception there and had no one around him. Went completely untouched into the end zone for a quick score here for Crestview.
I just felt like they conditioned the defense quite a bit in that first half. They ran, and ran again. And now we see just a simple slant route. Gets a easy touchdown out of Liam Kuhn to get his first throwing TD of the night. Extra point for Abshire on the way. Would make it 28-0. He's knocked down 9 of his 10. 9 of his last 10 extra points as it's now 28-0. Cougars lead here from Scott Bailey Memorial Field. So not even a minute into the third quarter, we see a touchdown out of the Cougars. They'll send this back away to the Plymouth Big Red. Miller hit hard on the return. Nicely done by the Cougar return team.
Big hit there by Ben Laug. Just kind of came in, ears pinned back, almost looking for blood there on that hit.
And he goes right back to the sideline, celebrates with his teammates. And the Cougar defense a little bit fired up coming out to the field after that sort of play. And we'll see what Plymouth can do as they start this drive at the 27. So a minute and 4 seconds into the third. Cougars already have a touchdown. We've seen Plymouth stagnant on their drive so far in this game. Does that rough start from the defense carry over to the offense here? Give to Miller. Isaiah Miller past the first level. It takes the secondary to bring him down as he gets a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, Miller again. The start of the game, he had a really good run. Start of this half, he's got another good one. Other than that, the Crestview defense has kind of really had him completely swallowed up all night long, able to finally get a little break there, get a little hole going, get a nice 9-yard gain.
Good open field tackle also by Lane Robinson. Just had 2 tackles last week. He gets his first one here tonight, and it was a big one. Fumbled snap. Quarterback Distel's just going to have to take it himself, and he makes the best of it, gets a first down.
Yeah, it just looks like a low snap there, able to kind of scoop that up into his own arms. It looked like they were going to try to hand it off there, decided to keep it, get a good hard couple yards, first down, and keep the drive going.
New set of downs for Plymouth, 1st and 10 on the 40. Still in their own side of the field. Plays in Crestview ground have been few and far between tonight for the Big Red as they're held up on first down. Looks like about a half-yard on the gain.
That right there, Crestview again honing in on Miller. Just another simple handoff on the inside. Swallowed up immediately there by that Crestview defensive line.
Now, shout out to that defensive line. They bring back 2 all-conference players. Carter Goon was an All-Ohio honorable mention in that category in Division VI last year. Jack Stevens, All-Firelands second-teamer, has already made a couple great plays in this one. You'll also see Montgomery Klein, the junior. He had a strip sack last week. And then also Bronson Rose. Got to shout out those front 3 that interchange every so often. There's a funky-looking play as Aiden Raymer dives atop the pile as we see a couple yards gained here by Distel on the keeper.
Yeah, it's scary as a coach or as a fan seeing players kind of dive on top of the pile when they're still upright, because if you fall off of that, you dive wrong at all, it's a very easy way to get yourself hurt. He's got to be careful doing things like that.
After that play, 3rd down and 4 on the 46. Threatening to get back into Cougar territory. But Distel is held up nicely. There's that defensive line again with a little bit of help on the outside by Aiden Raymer.
Yeah, Raymer sniffing that play out. Again, just the same play, the same run, back-to-back plays. Raymer coming in, stopping it immediately, getting hold of the quarterback, able to pull him back. Distel didn't really have anywhere to go, even if Raymer didn't get a hold of him.
I think the first touch there on that play came from Branson Hyder. So 2 linebackers breaking through the O-line and making nice plays to make this 4th down. Here comes the punt. Max Durbin back to return, catches it moving backwards, and he'll shift to the far side. Back towards the middle. Plymouth will get him down to the 32, but a solid return. Cougars will try to come back and make it a running clock.
It was a really good punt there. Having to receive that punt over his shoulder, almost like a downfield pass, and then able to recover the way that he did and get a nice 15-yard return out of it. It's a true testament to his skill and his knowledge as a player.
I talked about it earlier in the broadcast. Last week, Crestview had 6 different Cougars score. They've had 4 here today, so they're looking for an identical result. They can get some more players involved later on in this half. Raymer in motion, looking to go his way on a screen pass. They get it to him. Raymer has plenty of room as well. Past the 40. Raymer's already scored in this game. He's looking to get back into the end zone, but he's taken down at the 5.
Miller able to chase him down from behind. Raymer just completely wide open. Well blocked screen play there by Crestview. Miller able to utilize his speed, catch up, make the touchdown saving tackle there at the 4-yard line. Looks like they got him down at the 2, I'm sorry.
So Raymer, a solid play. He'll stay in the game. Or no, that's not Raymer. He's not in the game right now. 2 different backs, and they're going to go with Hyder, who finds his way back to the end zone for the 2nd time today.
Again, just like earlier, his first touchdown, just kind of walked right into the end zone. Offensive line really able to open up a big hole right up the middle for him. He's able to just kind of coast right in across the goal line.
And the Cougars have done a fantastic job just keeping Liam Kuhn comfortable. Very great play calling from head coach Haverdill. It has been an offensive clinic for, I'd say, 90% of this game from the Crestview Cougars.
Yeah, Plymouth defense, even coming out of the half, is already starting to show some of that fatigue that they had in the first half. And it looks like they're going to run a fake here.
Bobbled snap, and that'll result in 2 points. I think at least it was a bobbled snap. Didn't see it on that replay, but very good improvisation if that was the case.
I think you're right. I think he just couldn't get the ball down on the block, able to pick it up and roll out to his right, and ended up with more points than what they anticipated.
Exactly. So Keener picks up the bobbled snap, rolls it out to the right, throws it out to Branson Hyder, who just scored the touchdown. He gets a 2-point conversion as well. And with that, we're going to keep it here. You see Liam Kuhn on your screen as he talks with his coach. Very good drive from them. Just 2 plays it took to find the end zone.
Yeah, just the efficiency of this Crestview offense, and the kudos to the coaching staff here at Crestview, able to get these guys so in tune with their playbook that there's really not much question whenever a coach gets to play in to the players. They all know immediately what they're doing. They know what their assignment is, and they're executing that assignment with maximum efficiency, and that's all a coach can really ask for.
So 36-zip in favor of the Cougars as this kickoff is sent away. We'll head to a running clock. Be the 3rd straight running clock game for this Crestview squad. And it's hard to believe that the playoff picture, while it is early, this team is actually 2 spots out of the tournament right now, with the playoffs moving from 16 to 12 teams. They sit 14th right now in a tough region. Ball comes out here, and Crestview has it. Take a look at this again, the return from Plymouth. While it was a solid one, gotta keep a solid grip on that football. It's jarred loose. Was that Goon?
Looked like number 30, Ben Sandvik. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Again, solid form tackle, able to get his helmet right on the ball, popped it out. Cougars hop on it, and it's Crestview ball again.
So now you've got the running clock. Time's going to roll regardless of what you do. Is this where you try to get the pass game comfortable?
Yeah, they're going to start working in some of their JV guys, get them some extra reps. Probably start working in the pass game a little bit more, just to get a little extra reps with that. Get the receivers more comfortable, get some better chemistry.
How about that play design? Hyder continues to stay on his feet, and he's rolled up at the 10.
Good run there. That offensive line opening up another big hole. You see another big pull by Montgomery Klein, big block there on the trap play. Able to open things up for Hyder and almost scored, but he was able to. The Plymouth defense was able to slow him up just enough.
Cougars already in business. They've scored. They've had 2 drives today. They scored on their first play of the first drive. It took 2 plays to score on their second drive, and it's looking like they could have similar success here. Kuhn looking for the end zone, up the seam. Carter Goon. It's his first touchdown of the season. The tight end, he's been used a lot, but has not found the end zone until now.
His first touchdown of the season, the 5th Cougar to find the end zone tonight. Crestview really spreading the ball around and getting the ball in their athletes' hands, just letting them make plays.
Yeah, super simple, quick snap, quick look to Goon.
Looked eerily similar to those old Tim Tebow pop passes from the early 2000s. Just a quick little pass right over the line of scrimmage to the tight end, wide open for the touchdown.
Nobody loved their tight end more than Tim Tebow. 3 seconds to go on the play clock. They do just get this off. It was a little bit funky, and Abshire is going to miss his first extra point of the day, but not sure how much of that's on the kicker there.
Yeah, it looked like they were missing one of their linemen up front, but who's the one that run out? Liam Kuhn, the quarterback. He seems to be Crestview's Mr. Everything down there on the sidelines tonight, running in there, laying down the block on the line there for the extra point. Ended up missing, but again, they're still up 42-0, and there's still 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
So things have opened up quick. Remind you, it was a 21-0 score at the half. It's already 21 points here in this third quarter. As Plymouth just feels demoralized right now as they trot back out to the field. They fumbled the kickoff return. That's how they gave Crestview the position to score again. So first drive, 1 play. Second drive, 2 plays. Third drive, 2 plays. No answer right now for this Crestview offense if you are a player in white tonight.
Yeah, Plymouth just kind of seems a little deflated here. A little excited, ready for the game to start tonight, but coming out of this second half so far with how it's gone, kind of taking the wind out of their sails, what little bit that they had.
Return from Beverly will be shy of the 30. Clock rolls again. 3 minutes to go here in the
Late
third.
flag. Players are starting to get a little chippy down there. A little emotion getting shown from both sides, from Crestview and Plymouth. It's not something you want to see or do as a player. Certainly not something you want to see as a coach. See your kids kind of lose their head a little bit.
Yeah, so you see Crestview. They're able to get their players out of it. Max Weitzel was on your screen, and then Ben Trimmer on the other side. Coach is going to talk to his team. Here's the little scuffle again. Yeah, I think Crestview kind of starts that, and the flag comes in, and usually the retaliation is what gets the flag. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 flags thrown down on the ground. See if it was all for the kind of the same player. I would say there was flags thrown on multiple players here. We just got to see what the officials decided in their huddle here. See what we're going to do.
So the head official talked with head coach John Gillum. He'll now trot over to the other side. Coach Haverdill is going to have a conversation with him now. And mind you, with the running clock, this is still going as they deliberate on this call. The 1.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, with high school rules, the running clock, it doesn't stop for anything other than basically timeouts. Looks like
ejection. Yep. There's an ejection, and it's going to be 65 for Crestview.
Max Weitzel, the freshman. It's unsportsmanlike on both sides, but Weitzel was a little more animated in that, and the refs decide to throw him out of the game.
So with that, play is going to continue on the field. Big Red on the return there. They're going to start this drive, I believe, at the 28. Yep, that's where the marker is.
Okay, after the offsetting foul, it falls first and 10 for the Big Red at the 28-yard line.
So I'm pretty sure the rules are as 65's ejected from play. He doesn't have to leave because he has not made any move, Weitzel, to head to the locker room for the rest of this game. Here's a ball spilled in the backfield by Plymouth. That will halt up their play.
Looked like just another bobbled snap there by the quarterback, but I think you're right. I think Weitzel is able to stay on the sidelines just so long that the coaches really ensure that he does not try to go back out onto the field, which I don't see that being any type of issue. I know the Crestview coaching staff, they always have backup plans for such situations.
Well, with that whole situation going about 3.5 minutes, that'll end the third quarter. So we'll come back quickly with the fourth here on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Yeah, you had to talk with him there briefly.
We'll return here for the fourth quarter. We'll have second down and 11. We were just talking off the air about last time we saw an ejection in a game. It's been some time. You were telling me you saw one early last year. I don't think I've seen one, period, since working here at the OH Report. Next play will gain about 4, as that was second down and 11. We'll see third down and medium coming up. Running clock here from Crestview High School. It's 42-0 in favor of the Cougs. They'll look to extend this win streak to 4 as they drop their first 2 games of the year against really good competition, Seneca East and Kirtland. We know how good Kirtland is. I know how Seneca East plays well. A lot of teams seem to have written out the Tigers, but I still have faith in them as they sit 3-2 going into their game this week. Decent gain from Plymouth. It won't be enough, though, for the first down, so make it 4th down and, according to the official signal, about 2.5. They'll put it right at the 36.
It looked like it was number 21 there, Weston Kamen, maybe. Again, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Good run, but again, it's still 4th and 2, forcing Plymouth to punt yet again tonight.
Distal will punt yet again tonight. It's a good one. Gets that all the way back to the 25, where Durbin runs in and makes the catch. Back to the outside he goes. He hasn't been touched yet, all the way to the 45. He'll be ushered out of bounds.
Really good punt there by Distal. From our vantage point up here in the press box, it almost seems like it's getting close to the level of the lights. It's getting really dark once it hits that peak. It's kind of hard to see the football before it starts to come back down.
I'll tell you what, something that never really seems to be an issue, but sometimes it can be if you have a really good punter, is you punt it too deep and your gunman can't get down there.
Yeah, the way Plymouth does their punting, it's very similar to college and even pro style. They line up a couple of receivers on either side, and those are your gunmen. They're the ones that take off. A lot of schools, they go with their long snapper, do a kind of more of a max protect style of punt formation. Long snapper takes off as soon as he snaps the ball.
Under center goes Kuhn for first down and 10. Rough tussle between Crestview and Plymouth right there, as that one's halted up right away.
That's the freshman Carson Flickinger, number 88. Kind of just ran right into him. I don't know if that was a missed-blocking assignment or something, but Flickinger didn't really move a whole lot off of the line of scrimmage, and really just had to bear hug the running back there to make the stop.
A couple new faces come into the game for Crestview. 36, Gavin Stewart, near side as a receiver. Another run from the Cougars, however, as that time it's Barber. Pardon me, is that Webb, Gavin Webb, the ball carrier? My mistake. It's getting dark here. Those jerseys are kind of getting tough to read.
Yeah, it almost makes you wish, as a broadcaster up here in the press box, you wish that at least the front and back numbers on these black jerseys were white with red trim.
I do like the look of them, however, but as a broadcaster, you are correct. It does get a little bit rough when you get up to the Mike Baker press box here at Crestview. This ball spilled, and Crestview fortunately able to get back on the ball, but it's going to be 4th down and long as Webb couldn't handle the handoff.
Yeah, I think it seemed like a good handoff from the quarterback. Looks like it just slipped out of his hands, able to fall right back on it.
So some new guys getting opportunities. Definitely time to clean things up. 7.5 minutes to go. We've got 4th down and 8. See what the Cougars decide to do here, as the clock's going to run all the way out on the play side of things, and Coach Haverdale will have a timeout. First timeout called of the game from Coach Haverdale, and it comes here in a 4th down and 8 situation.
Hasn't really had much reason to call timeout so far tonight. I think with this timeout, is just trying to run some more time off the clock, kind of get through the rest of this quarter, give their guys a little more time to relax a little bit before they finish out this game.
Taking a look at some of the scores from across the area. In the third quarter right now, Monroeville and Western Reserve in the Firelands, knotted at 14. You may remember looking at the standings not too long ago. Those two teams were right at the top along with Crestview. Western Reserve 4-1, Monroeville 3-2. They're both unbeaten in the league, so one of them's got a break. As we see a really short punt out of Crestview, but it does take a nice Cougar bounce. It'll roll to the 25. They'll scoop it up at the 26. Plymouth a chance to take over, but the Cougars, they'll go to 3-0 in the league. They'll be joined just by one other team after the result of that Western Reserve and Monroeville game that looks to be going down to the wire. Also on the OH report. Also want to look at some other games as I'm rolling through 3. Mount Gilead leads 16-7 in the KMAC as they take on East Knox tonight. Tough road test for them as they get ready for a potential matchup of unbeatens in the KMAC against Centerburg, depending on Centerburg's result with Cardington.
Yeah, Mount Gilead, East Knox only 16-7 in their game. Not really the result expected out of that one with how good Mount Gilead's doing, but East Knox has definitely put something together so far this season.
And off here for Plymouth. New face for the Big Red offense. Weston Kamen gets himself a 1st down. But to go back to Mount Gilead, I truly believe this. They are not a team built for blowouts. I know they just beat Fredericktown 41-7, but they've got a defense that locks you down, and sometimes the offense doesn't show up on nights. But I just feel like the Indians, some of their scores may not look too clean on the year, but they simply just know how to win football games.
Yeah, again, like you mentioned, 41-7 win over Fredericktown last week. It might be an anomaly with the score difference in that one. You see Plymouth run a new running back again with Jensen Kilgore, another freshman, getting some of these younger guys in the game. But again, Mount Gilead, one of those teams where it's going to be a fight and a grind the entire game, but they're always, this season, seem to be able to get things put together well enough to finish out the game on top.
And I know we're in Firelands country, and a lot of people don't know too much about the KMAC, but just to kind of explain Mount Gilead and their offense, they do exactly what Plymouth is doing out in the field right now, except their back is 5'10", 230 pounds, Carson Barnum, who is my favorite to win KMAC Player of the Year this year, especially if Mount Gilead comes out on top. in the league as they're sitting right now. Another run to no gain for Plymouth. We'll make it 3rd down and long. Elsewhere in the OH report, Hillsdale leads 28-3 over Smithville. That's a battle of 5-0s where the Falcons are just running away with it against a really solid Smithville squad. Also, River Valley had their homecoming earlier this evening, but the happiness kind of stopped there because Shelby came into town and they lead 42-0 over the Vikings.
Shelby is just another one of those teams nobody seems to have an answer for this year.
3rd down and 9 here from Crestview. Nice shutdown as Kamen is held to no gain again. Crestview defensive line, I think, is the highlight of this defense, just because they've been able to win the war in the trenches. Linebackers have come in and made some tackles, but there has been no room for those running backs to wiggle for the Big Red.
And right now they have what looks to be 3 underclassmen on the Crestview defensive line, and they're still able to make these stops, just like their varsity counterparts. We got a lot of the JV guys in right now.
Line drive punt out of Distal. Running back to return. This ball just barely scooped up. And Joyce Hinton takes a big hit.
Yeah, Hinton, another one of those the freshmen on this Crestview squad, having to really chase that ball down. I think he just maybe miscalculated where the ball was going to go, having to chase it down, and it looked like he had a little bit of green turf ahead of him. But
it's a little frantic, just kind of stubborn to the ground before he could really go anywhere.
Yeah, kind of tripped himself up there.
Kuhn under center stays in this ball game for now. 42-0 in favor of Crestview. They'll just continue to give it to their new backs.
Yeah, again, they're up 42-0. There's already 3 minutes left in the game. It's been a running clock most of the second half. Coach is getting these JV guys in, get them a little time under the Friday night lights as an underclassman. It's always something you're excited about, even if it's at the end of the game with the rest of the JV guys. It's still Friday night lights. It doesn't really matter to them. Just getting them some extra reps, getting them a little more used to the play call scheme here, get a little more used to the playbook, so they're better off for their future years.
Great run yet again, this time out of number 23, Gavin Webb. Gets a Mechanics Bank first down. 2 minutes to go here in the game. Looking forward to Crestview's upcoming schedule. They've got a big game on the road at Norwalk St. Paul next week. Norwalk's already lost a game in the league, so they're looking to gain some ground and get back into the conversation of winning a title. Then they play at Western Reserve, and then they play here again against Monroeville. So that is probably 3 of the top 4, and you're one of the top 4, so you're playing everybody else that's in conversation right now.
Yeah, this here is definitely looks like we got a fumble on the field. Picked up by Plymouth. That's number 72, Jax Tackett, the 6'2 freshman, able to fall on it.
Yeah, yet again, it looks like on the transfer just did not get to the intended ball carrier. So Plymouth able to force a turnover there. They'll get a chance offensively with the final minute and a half in this game, but back to that conversation. The next 3 games are tough.
Yeah, this is a good tune-up game for Crestview. They're able to really pinpoint the things that they still have yet to work on midway through the season. Going into this 3-week stretch, it's going to definitely be difficult. Norwalk, a little slower start to the season than they like to see, a little slower than usual.
Rough snap here, and the ball's going to spill again. Cougars in one play get it back. Got a little sloppy here towards the end of the game.
Looks like it was number 43, Jet Evans, another freshman, able to fall on that ball to get the ball back in Crestview's hands.
So give it back to the Cougars. And speaking of the Cougars, before they get this next play off, I do want to show the upcoming schedule. We talked about St. Paul coming up. You've got Western Reserve coming up, Monroeville, and then you head to the road against Mapleton. I think if you can go 2-1 these next 3 weeks, you got to feel good about a chance to win a Firelands title. Maybe not outright, but definitely leaving a chance to win it outright, but definitely in some capacity.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to go victory formation and kneel it out here to end this game. We have the next 3 weeks, like I was saying, real tough stretch for Crestview. Norwalk, like I said, a little slower start to the season than we typically see from them, but Monroeville and Western Reserve really kind of starting to run away with the league so far. Even so early into league play, those two games are definitely going to be real challenges for this Cougar squad.
Well, Crestview gets the job done tonight. They're looking to contend for their first football league title since 2022. Well, they have just guaranteed themselves to be one of the final 2 Firelands teams unbeaten in the league. They moved to 3-0. It is now a 4-game win streak for these Crestview home Cougars. 42-0. Plymouth falls in a tough one tonight. They head to 0-6 on the year. We will take a break, come back with your MVP of this one, live and free on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Time now for your Sutton Bank player of the game. Today it's Branson Hyder. It was a tough choice today because you guys were such a well-rounded team. It was just like that last week. Just tell me about how you felt overall in today's performance. You guys get a running clock win, 42-0 over opponent.
It felt pretty good. We got off slow. Next week we're going to get out there. We're going to put pedal to the metal again. And we're going to hopefully come out with a win next week. We did what we needed to do the last 3 weeks, but next 3 weeks are pretty good competition. It's win or go home, basically, playoff game. And I felt pretty good about our team. And I'd like to shout out the offensive line for being absolutely amazing tonight.
And then, of course, we're going to talk about your rushing touchdowns. You had 2 of them tonight, but also want to talk about your defensive involvement. Over at the linebacker room, you guys got a great group in the second level. Just talk to me about both sides, how you felt you did offensively, individually, and then on the defensive side as well.
Offense, I felt pretty slow. I got a little sluggish towards the end of the first half. And then defense, I played better than any other game this year, and I'd like for that to keep going. But it all matters to come down as we all play as one.
Yeah, exactly. And it feels like in the running back room that you guys do exactly play as one, despite you guys having 3, sometimes even 4 ball carriers that get involved in the action. I had you down last week for 6 different players scoring against Western Reserve, against South Central, and then very similar outlook today. Just talk about that.
We like to split the ball out. So if we have someone on the field, we kind of, what's my word? We're respecting on them to go out there and do what the person in front of them did. And we block for each other. So that's how we're going to come out next week and hopefully block for each other and play as one.
And you got your toughest stretch of schedule coming up. Just want to wish you the best of luck these next 3 weeks, going to get up against some top competition in the Firelands Conference. Final thing for you is look into that camera, give any other shout-outs that you want.
I'd like to thank my Savior, Jesus Christ. I'd like to shout out my parents for coming to sport, and pretty much my entire team, my coaching staff.
All right, Branson Hyder, your MVP tonight, presented by Sutton Bank. Congratulations.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Time now for your post-game show presented by Schmidt Fire and Schmidt Security Pro. 42-0 in favor of Crestview. They take care of business tonight. We just talked with Branson Hyder, Peyton. He said the execution wasn't quite there for them. They thought they could have gotten out to a bigger start in the first half where they led 21-0 at the break. But then they break out in that third quarter. They score 3 touchdowns in the snap of a finger.
Yeah, from our point of view, execution was on par with where they needed to be. Obviously, Hyder and company not very happy with their execution tonight, but that just goes to show what expectations that they have, not only for themselves but the rest of their team. They expect perfection in and out every single week, and if they don't get that, it's not a good week to them.
So 42-0 the final here. Give you one final look at the Crestview Cougars' upcoming schedule because that's an important factor to these next couple of weeks. They play a tough St. Paul team that beat them last year in a really close game, 16-15. Western Reserve, they're kind of the top dogs right now. Depending on the result of that game against Monroeville, they could get dethroned, but you see that both of those teams are back-to-back weeks, so it doesn't really matter for Crestview. It's going to be tough going either one of those weeks, week 8 or week 9, and then they finish things up with their rival. Always tougher to take on a rival in Mableton, and that'll be on the road as well. So definitely does not get much easier the rest of the season for these Cougars. Taking it now to our upcoming broadcast. Of course, everything else still going on, where I would assume that we were probably the first game to let out. It was a pretty quick-moving game, but this is all next week, so we are looking forward to going to watch Cardington take on Danville. That will be our game next week. As of right now, there may be some shuffling depending on some results later on in today's proceedings. East Knox takes on Northmore in the KMAC, and then we see Mapleton head over to take on Monroeville. That should be an exciting game in the Firelands Conference. Back here, focusing in on Plymouth, they go to New London, a game that I really think they can win over on the road. And both of these teams, in fact, heading on the road. Crestview's got a tough game, as we said, against St. Paul. Peyton, any final words?
No, it was just a really great game out of Crestview. Plymouth and Crestview both definitely saw a lot of things that they need to work on. You mentioned Plymouth. Next week again on the road in New London. Very winnable game for them. They got to take their loss tonight a little bit of grain of salt. They played really hard, played good with this great Crestview team. Learn from their mistakes, go back to the drawing board Monday morning, and come back strong next week against New London and hopefully pick up their first win of the season.
I want to thank our sponsors bringing you tonight's live and free coverage: Simonson Construction Services, Schmidt Security Pro, Sutton Bankers Club, along with Mechanics Bank and Buckeye Horizon. I'm Jonathan Langdon, signing off along with Peyton Colopy and your camera operator tonight, Brandon Powell. We'll see you tonight for the Friday Night Pigskin on the OH Report. That was an hour 50.